from the NFL. He didn't use the words retiring, but he's working for the NFL today on CBS. I don't know, Texas Tech to the College World Series final alongside the University of Texas. It's a rematch of last year's College World Series final. Some crazy things in college baseball where the 1 seed and the 2 seed are both eliminated for the super regionals. Everything about what happened in the 24-hour confine was nuts. And, can I tell you something? Can I peel behind the curtain here? You're listening in Arlington. I pinpointed you, Danny in Arlington, I'm going to take you behind the radio, and it is the fact that each day you begin the show from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time thinking a little bit about the next day's coverage. What are we going to talk about tomorrow, later this week? Who are our guests? What are the big hot-button storyline topics? And here's what happened. I get off the show. Whoa, come on. You can do the bonk. You can do the bonk of the first segment there. Come on. I get off the show, and what happens is immediately Serena Williams comes out of retirement. And this is in radio on June 2nd, threat level midnight. We start throwing papers, killing trees, all hands on deck. Serena Williams came out of retirement. Let's everybody get in here. We got to go. We got to go. She's playing doubles. She's 44 years old. She's on the row thing. She's doing the pen. She's playing tennis. And then from there, if only I could have known what chaos yesterday would become. And at the very top of it, it's not A.J. Brown. It's not Russell Wilson, who threw for, I didn't know he threw for like 46,000 yards in his career. It's not Milan Momcilovic, the Iowa State star, 5-star transfer going to Kentucky. Finally, a win for the Kentucky basketball program. They need that. No. Yeah, Mark Pope's been kind of tough the last couple of years. No, it's none of that. It's Myles Garrett traded to the Rams. Do you understand, when we use the word blockbuster in trade conversations, this is applicable, but do you understand what just happened in the landscape of the National Football League? Do you understand what just happened in Vegas? I want to start right there. It's not a betting show, but here's how you conceptualize the addition of Myles Garrett to the Rams and what it does. Les Snead, Rams GM, has the F them picks philosophy. It strikes again here. As Myles Garrett has been traded from the Browns to the Rams will get just Myles Garrett, that's it, and the Browns will receive Jared Verse, as well as a 2027 first-round pick, a 2028 second-round pick, and a 2029 third-round pick. Again, Les Snead, F them picks. The Rams were already considered heavy Super Bowl contenders yesterday when you and I woke up together. Whoa! Not woke up together like that, but joined the radio show and did the thing. They were already heavy Super Bowl contenders according to Las Vegas. But sportsbooks went into a frenzy yesterday. Listen to this. This is your first nugget. I'm going to give you a lot of things today. It's a loaded show, obviously, with what happened yesterday. I'm going to give you a lot of things you can bring to the water cooler and tell all your friends and sound very knowledgeable about the situation. Here's the first one. You show up to work, you give them this nugget. They're like, damn, Danny from Arlington knows ball. This guy knows football. Immediately following the trade, the Rams' championship odds jumped by 600 points on FanDuel. What? They're now the number one going away favorite to win the ring next year, to hoist the Lombardi. The Rams were at plus 1150. They're now at plus 550. Listen to this. The Rams are at plus 550 to win the Super Bowl next year. Second place, the Buffalo Bills, plus 1,000. Third place, the Seattle Seahawks at plus 1,100. Oh, buddy, what just happened? I don't know if I've ever. It's June. I don't know if I've ever seen Las Vegas just say, "Hey, there's nothing else we can do about that." That's the guy. That's the Super Bowl champion right there. It's June, but we already have our champion. The LA Rams have been cemented as the undisputed, terrifying, heavyweight favorite of the world to win the Lombardi Trophy because they added one guy. And I'm going to spend the rest of this show, the rest of my life, the rest of the next 6 months talking about one team in this, and it's the LA Rams. If you woke up today in Columbus, Ohio, and thought, wow, yeah, my Browns did it. We got Jared Verse. Yeah, woo, we're number one. Got a bunch of picks. Got the 30th pick in the 2027 draft. Yeah, woo. I'm sorry. This is not going to be about the Browns. This is not going to be about the Browns. Wow, what a pick. What is it like? I'd love to know, to wake up today in Sports Talk Radio in Cleveland, Ohio. Are you happy with this? I guess you get rid of a guy who wouldn't talk to your head coach, wouldn't show up to OTAs, he was just non-existent. And for the Rams, this takes, again, I can't overemphasize. You have to know, 600 points on their betting odds to win the Super Bowl with this one move. That's how good Myles Garrett is, the reigning defensive player of the year after a record-breaking year. You're not just getting an elite player, you're getting the player, the defender at the peak of his powers, 30 years old. In 2025, he was the force of nature. Broke the NFL single-season sack record. 23 sacks, 3 forced fumbles for the Texas A&M product. And the transaction breaks a 30-year precedent. This is crazy, too. Where do you want to go with this? What do you want to talk about out of this? There are a million different things we can hit, but here's one of my favorite parts. 30-year precedent. He enters Los Angeles as the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Second time he's won that thing. It is the first time since 1997. Dana Stubblefield, when he left San Francisco for Washington, first time since 1997 that a reigning Defensive Player of the Year has changed teams in the subsequent offseason. It is the first time in the modern era a DPOY has been traded. What the hell? I told you I wouldn't focus on the Browns side of this. And how could you? They're not the contender. The Rams the ones who are the runaway favorite to win the title next year, to win the Super Bowl next year. But I do want to learn you some stuff about how the Browns front office, how the Browns staff treated this whole thing, from the GM Andrew Berry to Todd Monken. Let's go back to 20 hours ago. This is right before the trade. And Todd Monken and Andrew Berry are this like Browns Foundation golf tournament thing. They're making some sort of charity appearance. And, of course, when the cameras turn on, the first question is, hey, the greatest defensive player in the league, where the hell is that guy? And Todd Monken gives us like a we're promised nothing in life response. And this is an hour before the public finds out that Myles Garrett is no longer a member of the Cleveland Browns. Here's Todd Monken very quickly before Myles Garrett is shipped across the country.
Well, he's not like any other player. I mean, I'm never told who's going to be on the team, who's not going to be on the team, if that's a question. I mean, every day we evaluate the roster. Andrew evaluates the roster. Management evaluates the roster. And like I said, he's no different than any other player we've got. So I don't know how to respond to that based on, because it's really no different today than it's been for the last however many months I've been the head coach.
Have you been assured he'll be here June 9th?
No, I wasn't assured that when I took the job. I was never assured of anything when I took the job, other than once I signed my contract and whatever my contract said, that's what I was assured. And no matter what any of us coaches sign up for, is we show up every day and we coach the guys that are in the building like we've done since we've been here. That hasn't changed.
Odd. You know, that response of, well, when I was hired as a coach, I wasn't promised anything. We're never promised tomorrow. A meteor could strike right now and kill us all. I didn't know who was going to be on the roster. The more I hear from Todd Monken and the more moves, by the way, can we do it together? Can we please I need 300 milligrams of caffeine. The more I hear from the Browns, the more I hear from Todd Monken, the more I'm hearing a coach who's not supposed to win. Like, Miami's not going to win next year. You know when these franchises are hiring a guy to coach for 2 years, lose, and then go home. Like, Aaron Glenn's not the long-term answer for the Jets. They'll have him for 2 years. They'll fire him. He'll go home. Somebody else come in and hopefully contend. The Jets are still a year away from contention. Todd Monken, I thought, like, okay, we know that name. And Todd Monken's been kind of controversial, whether it's this, like, oh, the Ravens fans didn't like him. They thought it was the reason they were losing. And now he's the head coach of the Browns. The Browns got rid of Kevin Stefanski, and Stefanski seemed good. And nothing that Cleveland's done feels like it's nothing screaming stability or win now or Todd Monken's going to help us. It's screaming, we can't wait to fire Todd Monken in 2 years. And that's the same thing I heard in that clip. Because I don't know, man. What are we doing talking about Myles? This event is for the kids. Why are we talking about Myles Garrett? All of you selfish reporters, you all should be talking about the kids at our foundation. Which, oddly, was the same response the GM Andrew Berry gave at this Browns Foundation event when hey, we're at this charity event and the world's about to burn. The biggest trade in the NFL that we've seen in quite some time is about to go through. And Andrew Berry had this to say at the very same foundation appearance.
Obviously, we wanted today really to be about the Browns Foundation and everything that we're doing, the good work that we're doing there. Not naive that there's a lot in the social media sphere regarding Myles. Nothing is final at this point. We are in discussions of a potential transaction, including him. I'll have a lot more to say about it once it is final, if it does become final. And I'll discuss the details at that point. But we are in negotiations. We're hopeful that we close something here in the next several hours. But nothing's final right yet. So, like I said, I'll have an update for you guys maybe as soon as tomorrow when there's resolution. All right, Andrew.
Yeah. That response. That I'm trying to focus on the kids today, guys. I know you got to make it about Myles Garrett. Yeah, Andrew Berry. Yeah, GM of the Browns. We do have to kind of make it about Myles Garrett because he's the greatest defensive player in the world. And you haven't remember when Todd Monken, you might not, this could be news to you. A couple months ago, Todd Monken was asked, "Hey, have you talked to Myles Garrett?" He said no. You're the head coach. What do you mean you haven't talked to Myles Garrett? No, I haven't met him yet. I hope I could get his autograph. What? You're the head coach of the team. It never felt like it was going to work out. That is Garrett's time in Cleveland being much longer. He wants to win. Cleveland does not want to win. And now the Rams have accomplished a historic feat. Actually, a first. Do you know this is a first? Veteran quarterback Matthew Stafford was the MVP winner in 2025. Los Angeles is now the first team in NFL history to feature the league's reigning MVP and reigning Defensive Player of the Year on the exact same roster entering a season. Ugh. Oh, and the timing was a masterclass. Salary cap manipulation. Browns GM Andrew Berry, back in March, sneakily modified Garrett's option bonus deadline to 7 days before the regular season. And by waiting until June 1st to finalize the paperwork, until that June 1st date passed, the Browns split his massive $41 million dead money hit over the next 2 seasons, rather than swallowing a fatal cap hit all at once. So that's where it works out for the Browns. Hey, guys, we did lose the best football player on planet Earth. But we're going to save some money. Yeah. High five. Nice job, guys. And there was tension. There's been tension between Myles Garrett. He wanted Jim Schwartz there. He wanted, that was the defensive coordinator for the Browns, Jim Schwartz. The big question was whether or not Schwartz would stay in Cleveland. And Garrett really wanted him to stay in Cleveland. And ownership hired Todd Monken as the new head coach instead of Schwartz. Garrett didn't like that. Garrett never met with Monken, never met the new staff, sat out of voluntary team activities prior to the trade. And now you get Jared Verse as your consolation prize. Now, it's a very good consolation prize. 2024 Defensive Rookie of the Year. Has made the Pro Bowl the last 2 years, which I think Shedeur Sanders made the Pro Bowl, but hey, whatever. And only Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett have generated more pressures than versus 99 since he entered the league, giving Cleveland a premier young cornerstone. Hey, Cleveland, if you're going to be good 5 years from now, this is a guy you can be good with. So maybe it's not all bad for the Browns, who lost the best player in football. Oops. When we come back, A.J. Brown also shipped away. Well, we knew this was coming, right? Diana Russini told us. Well, she told Mike Vrabel when she whispered sweet nothings in his ear she'd make it happen. And I want to talk about whether or not this has to be the craziest NFL offseason ever. Diana Russini and Mike Vrabel's not even to the Myles Garrett, to the Max Crosby, remember that? To Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh and Sean McVay. Are you understanding Doug McDermott, this move from Sean McVay to Doug McDermott being fired? When else have we seen this? I just told you the historic implications of what happened yesterday alone. This NFL offseason has fed families. Coming up, A.J. Brown, gone to New England. And my goodness, Russell Wilson's retiring. This is Westwood One Sports. It's the Westwood One Sports app. You can listen to the entire show on the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The NBA Finals.
the size of it, you dumb person.
Interesting, per se.
And I was taking shots from the front and the back.
In the meat.
Ignore the hole. It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. Greg? No, Drake. Greg? Drake. Greg? Is this the craziest NFL offseason of all time? 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. You can chime in on that. I didn't even get... Okay, two things. One, Doug McDermott has nothing to do with the NFL. He's a basketball player. I think he's still the highest scoring college basketball player of all time. I believe. I think he has the most points in a career. His dad, Greg McDermott, the coach at Creighton. That's a wild pull. How about Sean McDermott? Try that one on for size. And I was thinking about, I didn't even get to two addendums to the first segment today. And you can listen to the entirety of the show on the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, the Drake Toll Show Twitter, or the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM 375. I didn't get to Odell Beckham Jr. being a member of the New York Football Giants again. And I also told you that Doug McDermott got fired by the Bills, which would be news to him. Mm-hmm. But before I get into the A.J. Brown deal, that's where I want to go next. Before I discuss this A.J. Brown, Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel, can I unpack some of the things we've seen in the NFL offseason? Myles Garrett mega trade. A.J. Brown reunites with Mike Vrabel. Miami Dolphins, the cap bloodbath. Tua and Tyreek, both gone. Kyler Murray, sign and cut frenzy. Big financial breakup. Cardinals releasing, just outright being like, you know what? No more Kyler Murray, despite owing him $36.8 million. So the Vikings said, yeah, we'll give him $1 million to come play for us. That's fine. Oh, look, free quarterback. Tua landing in Atlanta. Daniel Jones getting $100 million. Did you remember that? Who's giving Daniel Jones $100 million? Kirk Cousins is the quarterback in Las Vegas. Why did they do that? Why did you do that? You had Fernando Mendoza. Jalen Waddle, that was a deal. The coaches, John Harbaugh, that was a controversy. He is fired by the Ravens, or left the Ravens, or a weird situation with the Ravens, and the New York Giants call, and next thing you know, and then immediately after that, Joe Shane, the GM of the Giants, like, I want everyone to remember I am still the GM. No one forget, I make the decisions. Because it all came out that Harbaugh's one stipulation about being hired by the Giants is I never have to talk to Joe Shane. Todd Monken, Browns head coach, remember that was a long, drawn-out process because the Schwartz deal. Schwartz is the defensive coordinator for the Browns when Kevin Stefanski, the former head coach, got fired, and Myles Garrett really wanted Schwartz as the head coach. Do what Buffalo did, just hire the assistant? Nope. And Todd Monken was named the head coach, the same Todd Monken who was a controversial figure in Baltimore, and a lot of fans wanted him fired because he was mismanaging Lamar Jackson. Now he's an NFL head coach. Robert Saleh, remember that one? Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams coming together. Like Mike McDaniel gets fired. He's Chargers OC. Odell Beckham Jr. is a Giant. Russell Wilson retires. Max Crosby trade falls through. I remember where I was, sitting at my kitchen table, had to leave dinner because the Max Crosby trade fell apart. That was nuts. I'm forgetting probably 10 different things that have happened. I know recency bias is a thing. And I understand that, I because I'm living in the middle of it, of course I would say this is the wildest NFL offseason of all time. But I genuinely believe, top to bottom, coaching moves to trades to Odell being a Giant, this is the craziest NFL offseason I can remember. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Hell, man, we had the draft night snafu where the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are hosting the draft, call Mekhi Lemon and say, congrats, you're a Pittsburgh Steeler. Just for the Philadelphia Eagles to also call Mekhi Lemon and say, no, you're not. You're a Philadelphia Eagle. That's the world we're living in. Oh, it is the Drake Toll Show. And I am honored to be with you this morning. the A.J. Brown deal. I was reading this morning in a couple articles that I saw. Blockbuster, wild, unexpected, mind-boggling. No, we all knew this was going to happen. Do you know why? Can I let you in on a secret? Do you know why I think some analysts, some writers are going to call this mind-boggling or blockbuster or unheard of and surprising? Because they weren't allowed to cover the Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini conversation. I'm not going to say definitively, because I wasn't in the room with them sitting in a chair in the corner. I'm not going to say definitively that Vrabel and Rossini getting it on is the reason A.J. Brown is a New England Patriot. But Mike Vrabel, head coach of the Patriots, Diana Rossini, senior reporter for The Athletic, it comes to light for at least 6 years, they've been having an affair. And then we unravel the fact that she keeps reporting ad nauseum over and over and over, A.J. Brown should go to New England. A.J. Brown should be a Patriot. She's pushing this really hard. Really hard. And NFL fans, the everyday people are like, hey, this seems fishy. The guy that Mike Vrabel's hooking up with, the gal that Mike Vrabel's hooking up with, all of a sudden seems to be doing his bidding for him. Talking real sweet-like about a few players trying to get them to New England. And so we began talking months ago about A.J. Brown to New England because of the Diana Rossini situation. But a lot of national analysts, because of the status of Rossini and because they didn't want to lose any status with the NFL or status with the Patriots, and they didn't want to tick off the Athletic or the New York Times, a lot of major outlets, like you could turn on different major TV networks, and they weren't talking about Diana Rossini. I've talked to producers at major networks who could not say the name Diana Rossini. Oh, it's too taboo. This show was never that. I thought it was awesome. That's top story. That's one of the top stories of the NFL offseason. Mike Vrabel and senior reporter Diana Rossini quietly hanging out in Sedona, Arizona. I'm not shying away from that. My bosses didn't call me and say, hey, steer away from that one, man. We've had Diana as a guest before on the network, so we're going to have to play it real careful. They didn't tell me that. No, I don't play that way. So you're going to hear blockbuster, incredible, shocking about the A.J. Brown deal. But all you had to do was follow whose pants Mike Vrabel was getting into to know this was coming. Oh, touch yourself. I'm on one this segment. To land A.J. Brown, the Patriots had to give up future draft capital. Dang it. F them draft picks. The official compensation heading back to Philadelphia includes New England's 2028 first-round draft pick and a 2027 fifth-round draft pick, the better of New England's 2 fifth-rounders. And for New England, all right, whatever. We've got enough young talent. We have enough guys to win. We don't feel like the draft is our place to win right now. The Rams, Les Snead. GM of the Rams, Les Snead, kind of the same approach. And the biggest storyline of the trade is the reunion between Brown and Vrabel. Yeah! Vrabel, former head coach of, the Tennessee Titans, when Brown was drafted in 2019. 3 years together, built A.J. Brown's name, then he's traded to Philly. Vrabel's fired. And they joined forces again. And the biggest beneficiary of this, the guy who didn't sleep last night because he was so excited, is Drake May. Went to the Super Bowl last year. Breakout 2025. MVP. He was a vote off, which was insane, by the way. Thankfully, he didn't win it. It was Matthew Stafford's. He was a vote off from the MVP, leading this ragtag, 4-win Patriots team and ragtag group of receivers, a bunch of dudes you've never heard of, and then Stephon Diggs hitting people. He led that group to the Super Bowl. Now you get a real physical, game-changing alpha. You solidify the hierarchy of your options on the offense. And look, I didn't really mention much about Philly. But Kevin Petula, Kevin Petula was the offensive coordinator in Philadelphia last year, and the big hubbub was fire him, send A.J. Brown away. We don't love him. He failed against the 49ers in the postseason, so we all hate A.J. Brown now. And Petullo's the reason that we lost a bunch of games, send him down the river, which they did. You know what? Fire everybody. Clean house in tandem with it. That's kind of how Philly fans operate. They're some of the more passionate in the NFL, and I appreciate it. And the Brown trade, undeniable. It follows 2025, where his sideline venting and frustration, mad about how he was being used, persistent offseason social media scrubbing, making it clear to Howie Roseman that he wanted a fresh start and he was out. And it was just one more domino for Philadelphia of drama, for the franchise of drama, for the fan base. Like, fire Nick Sirianni. Okay, don't fire Nick Sirianni, but drama. And Brown, 6-time, 1,000-yard guy. Cap magic for Howie Roseman. I think both sides win here. A reshuffle for New England. Both sides win here. The offense gets better in New England, and the Eagles lose a distraction. Now for Jalen Hurts, though. Hey, big guy. Going to need you to be a real big-time quarterback. You've got a young, retooled group of pass catchers. Going to need you to be a big-time quarterback. Can he do that? 2026 will tell us. When we come back, it's our biggest losers of the day. A lot of those in the NFL, a lot of them across the college realm as well. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The quest for
in the meat.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Before we get into our biggest losers today, is this the craziest NFL offseason of all time?
Yeah.
310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. You can call or text the show. This show is sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving all branches of the armed services, veterans, and their families. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Our members are the mission. I have been informed that it is cold in the room that I'm in, and I am, as the kids say, nipping. So please bear with me with that if you are watching the live feed, because every radio show has a TV show now. You got to film it. Sorry.
So it warms up, though.
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person.
Didn't mean to put on a show for the people. Before we get to our biggest losers of the day, I decided to take a Twitter break in the middle of our break and just scroll for a second, and got this is a great tweet. And it's Odell Beckham and Juju Smith-Schuster filming a TikTok in the Giants locker room pregame, while Jackson Dart writes 45-47 on his cleats. Cam Scadaboo's in the corner eating a seat cushion. And I'm going to add, like, Abdul Carter is reading Of Mice and Men. Like, just what a locker room, man. I cannot believe the offseason we've had in the NFL. Even the last week alone, the Giants is just a billion stories to come out of that, where Jackson Dart, the quarterback for the Giants, announces the president's coming to the podium, and Myles Garrett got traded. Serena Williams is coming back. A.J. Brown got traded. Odell Beckham Jr. is a member of the Giants. So many things happened in the last 24 hours. I haven't said the words NBA Finals yet, and they begin tomorrow between the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. Maybe we'll talk about that today. I don't know where. I only have 3 hours. I could use 8 hours, which is plenty of time. Let's do it, though. It's time for our biggest losers of the day. We'll finally give you some college baseball, college softball. That was big in the news last night. This guy's cojones, the no-no square, are our biggest losers of the day. In their contest yesterday, an Oklahoma batter fouled a pitch off of his and the camera immediately cut to the first baseman, who is dying laughing about it.
Get another guy on. Tap foul, and that came up and took a piece out of Taki. Oh, yeah, Ken Schmidt's been there. He understands. You play
In the meat.
When the announcer gives you the great cut to the first baseman who thought it was the funniest thing. I mean, it's just some things never die. Getting hit in the lowers, one of those things. Biggest loser of the day would be Texas, Tennessee softball, losing to the University of Texas Longhorns, and UT headed to the finals of the Women's College World Series.
The 0-2. Hard hit ball to right field, but a racing back, leaping, making the catch in right field is all red, and Texas Tech is headed back to the championship series. It'll be a Lone Star State showdown for the second straight year, as Texas Tech will battle Texas to try to win their first ever Women's College World Series title. They have eliminated Alabama, winning the if necessary game 2-zip behind an absolute gem from Nyjah Kennedy.
Well, it's going to be really tough to tell the story now. So that was game 2 of the other games. Here's the audio from Texas winning game 1. No, hold on. Okay, well, let's reset. The University of Texas came into yesterday needing to win 2 against Tennessee to go to the College World Series for the 3rd straight year. That's how the bracket works. Double elimination. You had to win the first game and the if game. Here's the final call of that if game. Texas winning 2 in one day over the other UT to go to the finals.
Kavon is ready. And here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 10th strikeout of the game for Kavon. And the Texas Longhorns, for the 4th time in 5 years, are back in the championship series. Texas blanks Tennessee 4-0. And the Texas Longhorns will play for a national championship. They will await the winner of Alabama and Texas Tech. Game 1 coming up on Wednesday.
Tennessee's a big old loser in that one. Just had to win one, gals. Couldn't do it. UT moves on to the title. You heard that from Ryan Radke on Westwood One Sports yesterday. Then Texas Tech had to do the same, play number 1 Alabama. Number 11 Texas Tech, number 1 Alabama. They had to beat them twice. You beat the number 1 team in the country twice in one day with first pitch at 7 o'clock Eastern. Oh, baby. Game 1. It is in extra innings, and Texas Tech does the impossible.
The 0-2. Hard hit ball to right field, but a racing back, leaping, making the catch in right field is all red, and Texas Tech is headed back to the championship series. It'll be a Lone Star State showdown for the 2nd straight year as Texas Tech will battle Texas to try to win their first ever Women's College World Series title. They have eliminated Alabama, winning the if necessary game 2-zip behind an absolute gem from Nyjah Kennedy.
Meant to play you the Mia Williams home run. That's on me. Walk-off home run, game 1 yesterday for Texas Tech. Sending it to game 2. That was the final call on Westwood One Sports from Chris Plank. University of Texas and Texas Tech. We'll meet. Let's move on. We'll meet the championship, the College World Series in Oklahoma. Biggest loser of the day. Oh, baby. The Kentucky baseball program. Same situation, but on the other side of this, Kentucky is up a couple games on West Virginia in Morgantown in that regional. Now, all Kentucky's got to do is win one game, either on Sunday or Monday, to go to the Super Regionals and play it at home against Cal Poly. You can host a Super next weekend all of a sudden. Kentucky, who's been irrelevant in college baseball this year, just go win a game. Well, they lose, giving up 5 runs after being up by 3 in the 9th inning on Sunday. Then yesterday, down 5-1 in the 8th, tie the game 5-5 in the 8th, send it to extras, but some idiot in center field decides to dive for a ball he very obviously couldn't catch, and that leads to a walk-off for West Virginia. Biggest loser of the day, Kentucky. And how cool is this? It's about a minute long. It's kind of, but you can hear Armani Guzman. He's the player for West Virginia that walked it off. He's mic'd up and singing with the crowd. Country Roads after the West Virginia win last night gave me chills. Here is Morgantown celebrating a super regional bid, their 3rd in a row.
My home far away, riding down the road, feeling that I should have been home yesterday. What? Well, Armani Guzman, you'll be home next weekend.
Armani Guzman, mic'd up with ESPN, just couldn't avoid singing Country Roads. And now in college baseball, we've reached our Sweet 16 effectively. The Super Regionals are set, and there's some funky teams that have made it into these Supers. Number 16, West Virginia will host Cal Poly. Yeah, Mountaineers winning 2 in a row against Kentucky. What a moment it was in Morgantown. The winner of that will play the winner of Troy and the University of Arkansas Little Rock. Troy awarded Florida yesterday. University of North Carolina, UNC, will play USC. It's the first time since 2005 the Trojans have made a super regional. They knocked off Texas A&M, winning 2 straight. Auburn will play Ole Miss. They'll host Ole Miss in the Super. Georgia takes on Mississippi State. Texas will play Oregon. Alabama will host St. John's. And Kansas hosts Oklahoma. Notably, the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country did not make the Super Regionals. Number 3, Georgia, did. They're the ones who will play Mississippi State. Biggest losers of the day, Brendan Sorsby? Yeah, not good. He had his court hearing yesterday, and from Scott Springer of Springer Sports, the NCAA attorney Taylor Askew said, if we're focusing on Brendan Sorsby's mental health, now this is the same Brendan Sorsby who's the quarterback at Texas Tech, 5-star kid, the number 1 transfer in America, decides to go to Lubbock, and then immediately is found out he bet 40 times on his own Indiana football team while attending Indiana. He said, if we're focusing on mental health, this is the offense against Brendan Sorsby. How does throwing him back into the situation that triggered the behavior help? If he was truly in the middle of a disorder, and based on what's been submitted, there's no reason to say he isn't in a disorder, he needs to focus on that treatment, which is not going back into the environment that created the problem to begin with. Ooh, interesting. It is one of those, like, hey, if someone is on their 8th DUI or has a problem with drunk driving, you take away the car and the alcohol. If someone has a problem with sports betting on their own college football team, you take away the sports betting and the college football. Here, that seems to be the case for Brendan Sorsby. And for him, his attorney Jeffrey Kessler, who kept calling him Brandon Sorsby, didn't know his client's name, said that, for Brandon Sorsby, he needs to play college football next year if the NCAA actually cares about his mental health. Be interesting to see how they approach this one. A judge will decide within the week whether or not Sorsby will toe the will start at quarterback next year for Texas Tech. And then our biggest loser of the day, the Cleveland Browns. It's the first time in 30 years that the Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL has not played for the same team the following season. 1997. That's pretty bad. When we return, is this the greatest NFL offseason ever? 310-840-4910. We'll have our obituaries. Who died today? And the quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. This is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is...
Baby, I'll be glad to learn from you. And darling, I know you will be glad to learn from me. And if we get down and things get sad, we can cheer up each other and grin, 'cause things just ain't that bad. day by day. Just one step at the time. 'Cause woman, you have given me so much just to ease the stubborn old aching heart of mine. I don't care where they came from, and I don't care what they might say. Woman, you've been loving in my corner all the way, day by day. Yeah, it's the magic of kindness flowing all the time. Further on down the road, baby, you will accompany me. Oh, woman, I'm hoping. Further on down the road, baby, you will accompany me. Oh, baby, can't you hear me praying? When I look back, your love was like the sun, and I don't remember any cold days. I just remember the warm, warm sun. Further on down the road, baby, you will accompany me. Oh, baby, oh, baby. Baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Ooh, baby. Oh, darling. Oh, baby. Oh, darling. Oh, baby. Oh, did you hear that country sound? Accompany me. Further on down the road, baby, you will accompany me.
On the people, I got people on the people dancing on the people with the people on the people smoking CO2. See me, see you dancing on the people. Climb up on the booth.
It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Good morning. Myles Garrett is a member of the Los Angeles Rams. Dancing on the people. The A.J. Brown trade has finally gone through. Eagles sending the wide receiver to the New England Patriots for 2 picks. Najee Kennedy sends Texas Tech the College World Series final in Oklahoma City for the Texas Tech softball team. Steph Curry signed a sneaker deal for 10 years with Li Ning in China. Milan Momcilovic transfers to Kentucky. There is the Odell Beckham Jr. is back with Juju Smith-Schuster and Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter and Cam Scadaboo in New York. Will the Giants compete with John Harbaugh as the head coach? What hasn't happened? The NBA Finals are tomorrow between the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. Oh, and don't look now, literally today, the Golden Knights take on the Carolina Hurricanes in Raleigh, North Carolina, the Lenovo Center. Our own Josh Graham will be in attendance at the game this evening with Westwood One Sports representing the network. And I have to ask you the question of the day. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Is this the most insane NFL offseason you can remember? Think about it. Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel to Sean McVay to what did Sean McVay do? He just grabbed
Touch yourself.
Myles Garrett. So there's that. Oh, thanks, Curtis. To Sean McDermott. That guy got fired. And then hiring his offensive coordinator, Joe Brady. The myriad of things that have gone down in the NFL since December 28th when this show began. It has been a madhouse. And I guess it's time to say goodbye to a few of those big names and biggest losers that we used to love. It is time for our obituaries. Dead today, Texas Rangers fans? Good morning, Addie Bates, producer of the Drake Toll Show.
Good morning.
We've had a bit of an issue with a few of the former Texas Rangers, namely from those really good teams, from the Dutch Oven, who I wore 45 as a kid for Derek Holland. That's why I wore 45 in Little League Baseball, is Derek Holland, who's had a controversial run the last few years. Ian Kinsler has said some very interesting things in the media. Josh Hamilton is Josh Hamilton. He was an alcoholic, mentioned substance abuse, wrote a book about his recovery. Then that guy died at the game that one time, and then Josh Hamilton relapsed. So none of that was good. Now Adrian Beltre, you know what? I'm the resident Rangers fan. I'll let you handle this one.
Also, don't forget that one thing with the minor leagues.
Stop. Not more.
What? And the prospects, what they were doing to the prospects. Don't forget that stuff. At least they weren't banging on trash cans, guys. Whew, Lord, I would hate to be that team that was. Anyway, so yesterday, TMZ was at an airport and they saw Beltre. And they're like, hey, you know that one guy, Wander Franco? The reason why he's not playing here? Like, what do you think about that? And Beltre believes Wander Franco.
Can you give people the context of Wander Franco here?
Yeah, so he was a really good player for the Tampa Bay Rays. Like, he was a rising star. He was going to be their next it guy. Like, that was the guy. Well, then what happened? Oh, he kind of did something with a 14-year-old. And recently they went to court, and even though he was guilty, he's not going to prison. The girl's mom is going to prison, though, for trafficking the girl. But he's fine, even though that is illegal. So Beltre said, hey, guy deserves a second chance. Which is funny, because if you're doing drugs, they'll give you a second chance. If you maybe sleep in past their alarm and miss a game, which happened earlier with the Kansas City Royals player, you get a second chance for that. But I feel like we should draw the line at when underage people.
Yeah, and diddling a 14-year-old, you can't do that. Which, okay, so there's the pushback, which is crazy. But I think what Beltre's going for is, oh, he didn't know she was 14. He was fooled. Gonna shoot you straight. I don't think I want to be the guy making that case. I don't think I want to be the guy who's like, all right, everybody, come on. He thought she was 18. That's not what I'm rocking with here. I don't think that what was the Giddy situation? Wasn't he 19 and she was 17?
Yeah.
Because that feels, I guess my sister was 17, her birthday was August 1st, and her boyfriend was 19 when she was a senior in high school and he was a freshman in college. Right? And like that was never she was a senior in high school, he was a freshman in college. I don't know if that was ever an issue. And I think that's why how Giddy.
A lot of the states have the Romeo and Juliet clause.
Okay, what is that? I'm haven't been reading up on my what is underage and what's not here recently. I just try to stay away from that altogether.
So in the state of Texas, you have a Romeo and Juliet clause, which states that if you're 2 years apart, I think that's the max. If someone is underage and you're 2 years apart, that it's okay because that's you can still have a consensual relationship. Pretty sure that is the
It
rule.
was in Texas. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how the Giddy situation ended up. Wander Franco doesn't.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
I don't think it applies here.
You can, I feel like you can tell when someone's 14. I'm sorry.
Ignore the whole.
Like when I was in college, and I was a senior in college, and I recognize I'm short. I get it. But like when people, like the seniors would tour, like high school seniors would tour campus, I was like, oh my God, these are children. And they're not. They're 18, but I'm like, these are children. How can you not tell someone is 14? How you're like, oh, I didn't know. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to help anybody here. I just think we just don't say things sometimes. Maybe we don't say that the guy who was relating to a 14-year-old should be back in the MLB. It's hard to justify that one, Adrian. It's hard to justify that one.
Anyway.
Dead today. Americans having a say? This came across my Twitter yesterday, and what's happening? What is happening? What are we doing here?
What?
What is it? What? Tucker Carlson met with Mike Huckabee, notable Arkansan Mike Huckabee, and was grilling him. I thought both these guys were in the same camp. I'm not sure. Take a listen.
Ask you a question. How much does it matter what Americans think?
Well, it matters every bit what Americans think. That's why Americans vote. It's why Americans have the opportunity to have free speech. We want them to have that.
Okay, so what percentage of Americans support a war with Iran?
I don't know. Do you know?
I do. I think it's around, I saw the numbers yesterday. I think it was like 21%.
Okay.
Is that enough to have a war with Iran?
We don't live in a world where you have a poll taken to find out whether our policy should be a particular direction. Because
I thought you just said that
that's
we
direct democracy. No, we care deeply about it. But on the other hand, do we make the decisions of foreign policy and even domestic policy based on
we
what
care
the latest
deeply about
poll
it in
number
what
is?
sense? If we're ignoring it, then in what sense do we, quote, care deeply about it?
Well, I think we care deeply when we see there's a threat.
No, but about Americans' opinions. So you've got 350 million Americans.
Wow, this is new. The how much, what does it matter what Americans think? It matters every bit. 80% oppose the war. Well, we don't live in a world where polls dictate policy. Oh, but I thought you said it matters what they think. Did something happen? It's Tucker Carlson. Where is he down the line here?
What's going on? Yeah, I mean, he's not really with Fox anymore. He's doing his own thing, and
right.
He's kind of realizing.
He's
I would
doing
say
the
also the same with Candace Owens, kind of realizing some of the hypocrisy that's happening. They're like, oh my God, we didn't vote for this one. I mean, you did, but whatever.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I listen exclusively to Bill Simmons or the Drake Toll shows. This is all news to me.
Interesting.
Unless something comes up on my Twitter.
I listen to Bleck and
This
Abdallah.
did and confused me. I listened to Josh Graham when his mic's on. Hey, dead today, Russell Wilson's career. Yep, he is retiring. He's going to become a CBS sports analyst, sources told Adam Schefter. And that likely means his 14-year career comes to an end. Thank you, Russ. Very fun. I was with Russ a few weeks ago, and big guy.
Big gooner.
Big guy. He doesn't seem like he's I think a few of the things. You can tell he's going into the after football life. And he seemed pretty content with that, talking to him and his wife and his kids. They're ready to slow down a bit. So, good for Russ.
Anyway.
Those are our obituaries. It is time for the Quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. Addy Bates reads them. Drake Toll responds.
Start with the big ones here. Eagles agree to trade A.J. Brown to Patriots for 2 draft picks.
Yourself. Yes, a reunification with Mike Vrabel and A.J. Brown. The full compensation package will be a 2028 first-round draft pick from New England to Philadelphia, as well as a 2027 fifth-round draft pick, the better of the Patriots' 2 fifth-rounders. A.J. Brown, 6 times he's caught for 1,000 yards. And in a down year, he had 78 receptions for 1,003 yards, 7 touchdowns in 2025. He'll be a genuine number 1 and a big-time option for Drake May. Great for the Patriots, great for the Eagles. I think it works out well for the Eagles as well. He had become seemingly a bit of a cancer over there. And look, I'm not saying A.J. Brown altogether is a cancer, but it wasn't working with the franchise. And now we put Jalen Hurts to a more ultimate test. Like, hey, you're losing some of your reliable targets and those that you leaned on. Can you go be a quarterback who wins games for your team? Not to say he hasn't with his arm, but he's had a pretty good. The Eagles they're one of the best franchises of the last 20 years. And they've got a couple Super Bowls to show for it. They have a dominant Super Bowl over Patrick Mahomes to show for it. So it's weird to say that Jalen Hurts has to prove himself, but I am curious to see how Hurts does as his wealth of riches from offensive line to weapons depletes.
Ooh. R.I.P. Carson Beck. The Browns trade Myles Garrett to the Rams for Jared Verse and 3 picks.
Is Carson Beck dead?
He will be.
Why? What happened? And I was taking shots from the front.
Are you being serious? Are you being serious?
Why are we killing Carson Beck?
Myles Garrett?
Yeah.
Over there?
Are they not friends?
Look, Joe Burrow is excited probably inside. He's probably throwing a party as we speak that Myles Garrett is no longer in the same division as him. Are you kidding me? Do we think Carson Beck's going to start? I think Carson Beck, and John Lund has talked about this on the show.
We've unlocked a new piece of the headline. I like this. All right, hit me with it. What's the big take here?
I think Carson Beck is going to be, and John and I have talked about this on air, going to be just good enough to where they're going to start him. They are going to start him. I think Carson Beck's going to be just good enough. Maybe not the first game, but I do think it's going to be kind of like a Spencer Rattler situation where you get Wally Pips. Hey, sorry, now we have Shuck. Hey, sorry, now we have Carson Beck. And then as he sees Myles Garrett, he, probably TBI, traumatic brain injury by the end of the year. But, that's football.
Yeah. I guess the Jacoby Brissett stuff hasn't been ironed out yet, and he's still not at OTAs. But if Brissett's there, I think, because he had the same numbers as Rodgers last year, Brissett was fine. I think Brissett will start. So, you know what? Fine. RIP both of them, him and Beck. Yeah, Myles Garrett being a member of the LA Rams is a problem. It's a serious problem for everybody else. The biggest piece of this, they jumped 600 points. 600 per FanDuel for Super Bowl odds. They're number 1 in the nation.
Is that good?
It's a minute.
Yeah. Baseball players' chief says union has never been broken and will fight MLB's salary cap proposal.
Yep. Well, we're never playing baseball again. I mean, yeah, as long... The players they didn't do it in 94. They're not going to do it here. The players will not. They refuse to have a salary cap. The floor is great. They hate the cap. Half the owners love the cap. Half the owners hate the floor. Half the players love the floor. Half the players hate the cap. None of it is good. I'm warning everybody. There won't be a full season of baseball next year if there's a season at all, because the owners seem pretty damn firm on this, hot, and the players do too. It's a minute.
Now we're getting into the really important stuff, guys, okay? Hart says, I've grown since joining the Vegas Golden Knights after acquittal.
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person.
My heart also grown since joining the Vegas Golden Knights, so I'm with him. Isn't the trophy named after him after all? I mean, come on, guys. I am excited still for the Golden Knights and Hurricanes tonight. Puck drops at 8. The NFL peeing all over itself yesterday through a bit of a wrench. There's a new wrinkle here.
Can't really say that.
Into today's show. But yes, I'm excited for the Stanley Cup Finals that begin tonight on ABC.
Perfect. And we're gonna finish with the most important headline of the day. Yeah, Steph Curry.
We're gonna what?
He signed with the Chinese sportswear company Li Ning. So, guys, everybody be on the lookout for his apparel.
In Canal Street in New York, you can find the knockoffs, as you can find knockoffs of anything. He departed Under Armour in November looking for a new partner, and Nike was like, well, you're old. I think everybody else kind of agreed, like, you're kind of old there, big guy. So he went to China and ends his sneaker free agency. 10 years with Li Ning. So he's going global. Do you think that, the Curry brand with Li Ning, do you think that the Chinese kids realize he's old now and not at the top of basketball? It's going to be kind of hard to convince the kids, like, hey, this guy who doesn't really play on TV anymore because his team's just not that great and he's old, you should buy his shoe. That's pretty tough to market.
You need to market like Josh Giddey shoes. They
should do Josh Giddey shoes. The Giddey shoe. Yeah.
For ages 17 to 19.
Yeah. Romeo and Juliet clause, or whatever the hell you called that. That is the Quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. Addy Bates read them. Drake Toll responded. When we come back, Myles Garrett is a member of the LA Rams. Does this lock in the Rams Super Bowl? Because Vegas just said so. This is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Walk-off home runs last night. Texas Tech in Game 1 of their Women's College World Series semifinal against Alabama, knocking off number 1 Alabama, winning 2 in a row against number 1 Alabama to go to the finals against Texas. Walk-off home run for Oklahoma. The Sooners are headed to the Super Regionals. In cross college baseball, it was a wild night. West Virginia also punching its ticket. USC going for the first time since 2005. Oh, the Las Vegas Golden Knights and Carolina Hurricanes will drop puck at 8 p.m. tonight in the NHL's Stanley Cup Finals. The NBA title begins tomorrow. The Spurs and the Knicks in San Antonio. Victor Wembanyama versus Jalen Brunson, and somehow none of that matters. Even Serena Williams coming back out of it. She's coming out of retirement. She's coming back to tennis. Even the fact that I'm learning that my shirt is revealing of my nipple area today. That seems to be the comment section's main squeeze. We'll fix that for tomorrow. Sorry, wear an undershirt. My bad. Bring one of those to the studio next time. All of that pales. All of that cutting diamonds pales in comparison to Myles Garrett, the greatest. Yeah, he's the greatest football player on earth. Think about it. I want to give you a second. Myles Garrett is the best football player on earth. That's not really sexy because he's 30. And it's not like that. It wasn't this slow climb of, when he was 25, he was the greatest football player on earth, and he got better and better and better and better, and just it's always been at the top. Because I don't think 5 years ago you would have said it was Myles Garrett. You would have said Patrick Mahomes, right? I don't think Myles Garrett would have been the first guy that came to mind. But today, given Mahomes' injury issues and given Matthew Stafford's the MVP, but he almost lost to Drake May. There was some sex appeal that was lost on Matthew Stafford's MVP win because Drake May was right behind him. Because Drake May was a vote away from getting the award, which would have felt hollow. I don't think May deserved MVP over Stafford this year. Yeah, he was awesome. I don't want to take away from Drake May, but it was Stafford's award. If you told me, hey, you can have either Matthew Stafford or Myles Garrett today, you're an idiot if you don't take Myles Garrett. He is the best football player alive. And he just got traded. What story could be bigger than that? The Rams will receive Myles Garrett. The Browns will receive Jared Verse, who's also a damn good edge rusher, as well as a 2027 first-round pick, a 2028 second-round pick, and a 2029 third-round pick. So Cleveland, they're getting their due. And Les Snead, the GM of the Rams, who said F them draft picks, is once again in F them draft picks mode. Now, I think the decision for Los Angeles to take Ty Simpson is even more stupid now. Remember, they drafted the Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson 13th in this year's draft. Just stupid. If you want to win the Super Bowl now and compete right now, Ty Simpson's not the dude that's going to get you there, and you probably could have drafted a quarterback a couple of years from now or a year from now and been in a fine spot and had a 13th overall pick, the 13th best player in the draft, in your back pocket to go win with. But again, the Rams hate the draft. It's not how they win. They don't win by drafting. They win by making moves like this. Bringing in a Matthew Stafford. Bringing in a Myles Garrett. Drafting fourth-rounder Puka Nacua and hoping that all goes well, which it did, aside from him biting people and being anti-Semitic, which you can't do either of those things, I've been told. The Rams have, as a franchise, have operated kind of on their own island in this league. We're going to do it our way, and we're going to win with it. And they've already got a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford already has one Super Bowl ring under his belt. Last season, you were a game away from making this. You played in the actual Super Bowl. The NFC was way better than the AFC. And the NFC title game between the Rams and the Seahawks, which was ultra competitive, where Stafford kind of fell apart going into the fourth quarter. A game like that, the a monumental game like that felt more like the Super Bowl from a competitiveness standpoint than the actual game itself, the actual big game. The Rams and Seahawks were the top two teams in the NFL. And the Rams looked around and said, okay, what can we do here? What can we do to beat the Seahawks and go win a Super Bowl? I don't know. Let's get the best player in football. Let's get the number one player on the planet at football. And they did. You're not getting an elite player. No. You're getting a football player at the peak of his powers, at the peak of sports. In 2025, Garrett had 23 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. Those 23 sacks, mind-boggling. Conceptualize that. Those 23 sacks are a record for a single season in the NFL. And this transaction is so groundbreaking. This transaction is the lead story. It's the story today on a day where Serena Williams is back in the NBA Finals and the NHL Stanley Cup Finals and A.J. Brown's trade and the retirement of Russell Wilson and the OBJ going back to the Giants. On a day where the world is burning in sports, this story is paramount because it breaks a 30-year NFL precedent. You do not. It is an unwritten rule of the NFL. You cannot, you do not, you will not trade away the Defensive Player of the Year. Myles Garrett will enter Los Angeles as the reigning DPOI. And that DPOI, his second time winning the award, means this is the first time since 1997, Dana Stubblefield, when he left San Francisco for Washington, that a reigning Defensive Player of the Year has changed teams in the subsequent offseason. It's the first time in the modern era that a reigning DPOY has ever been traded. Yet that's still not the craziest nugget. This one's crazier. By pulling this heist off, Les Snead and the Rams have accomplished a historical feat. The veteran Matthew Stafford, MVP last year. He was the MVP in 2025. Los Angeles is the first team in NFL history. Remember when the St. Louis Cardinals were a football team? The NFL's history has never seen the league's reigning MVP and reigning Defensive Player of the Year on the exact same roster entering a season. Never happened. And now Cleveland, they'll win with this. Not win games, but there's a way they win with this. They save money. Andrew Berry, Brown's GM, back in March, he modified Garrett's option. He modified the bonus deadline to 7 days before the regular season. And by waiting for June 1st to pass, finalize the paperwork, the Browns split his $41 million dead money hit over the next 2 years. So they don't just swallow $41 million at once. They can split it up. They'll lose money, for sure, but not as aggressively, not as fast. And Jared Verse is a pretty elite consolation prize, 25 years old. Verse, that softens the blow of losing the Defensive Player of the Year. Verse was the 2024 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. He has made the Pro Bowl each of the last 2 years, which means nothing now, but that's fine. Since entering the league, only Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett himself have generated more pressures than Verse's 99. So Cleveland gets a pretty dominant, premier, I would say, young cornerstone. And in 3 to 4 years, if they can compete then, well then, my goodness. What if this all works out well for the Cleveland Browns who want draft picks and young players? What if it works out for Myles Garrett, who's mad at Cleveland? There's tension. The cracks in the relationship with Myles Garrett and Cleveland, this is about winning a bit. I mean, Garrett wants to win, for sure. I would want to win if I'm the best player in football. But another major piece of this is that after a 3-win year, Garrett publicly said, I want Jim Schwartz, the Browns defensive coordinator, to be retained. If not as the head coach, as something. Keep that man here. He's why I'm here. And then ownership said, well, we're going to hire Todd Monken, the guy who most of the Ravens fans don't like from our division. Garrett never met with Monken, never met with the new staff. He said, I'm done. Didn't show up at the facility for these voluntary team activities, no OTAs. I'm done. So the Rams, and this is the nugget, this is the hot button. The Rams get the best player on planet Earth. The Browns get a future. They have something to look forward to in the future. And the Rams now have jumped. Here's what you bring to the water cooler. Here's what you do to impress your friends. The Rams have now jumped from contenders for the Super Bowl, according to Las Vegas, to the Super Bowl champion. The addition of Garrett sent Vegas into a frenzy yesterday. Immediately following the trade announcement, the Rams' championship odds jumped by 600 points on FanDuel. Undisputed, terrifying, heavyweight favorite to win the Lombardi Trophy, the Rams. They began yesterday at plus 1,150 to win the Super Bowl. They are now at plus 550 to win the Super Bowl. That is the effect Myles Garrett has. MVP with Defensive Player of the Year for the first time in NFL history. Defensive Player of the Year shipped away for the first time in NFL history. NFL Defensive Player of the Year on a different team for the first time in 30 years. What happened in the last 24 hours is monumental for this league. You need to know that. And it wasn't the only thing. A.J. Brown's been traded to the New England Patriots. Coming up, host of the Wicked Boston Show. Boston expert Cameron Stewart joins the Drake Toll Show. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Trucking, got my chips cashed in, keep trucking, like the Doodah Man, together, more or less in line, just keep trucking on.
Arrows of neon and flashing marquees out on Main Street. Chicago, New York, Detroit, and it's all on the same street. A typical city involved in a typical daydream. Hang it up and see what tomorrow brings.
Dallas, got a soft machine. Houston, too close to New Orleans. New York, got the ways and means and just won't let you be.
Most of the cats that you meet on the street speak of true love. Most of the time they're sitting and crying at home. One of these days they know they gotta get going. Out of the door and down to the street all alone.
Trucking like the Doodah Man once told me, you got to pay your hand. Sometimes the cards ain't worth a dime if you don't lay them down. Sometimes the light's all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me, what a long, strange trip it's been.
What in the world ever became of Sweet Jane? She lost her sparkle, you know she isn't the same. Living on Reds, vitamin C and cocaine. All a friend can say is ain't it a shame?
Trucking up the Buffalo, been thinking you got to mellow slow. It takes time to pick a place to go and just keep trucking on.
Sitting and staring out of the hotel window. tip, they're gonna kick the door in again. I'd like to get some sleep before I travel, but if you got a warrant, I guess you're gonna come in.
Busted down on Bourbon Street, set up like a bowling pin, knocked down, it gets to wearing thin, it just won't let you be.
You're sick of hanging around and you like to travel. Get tired of traveling, you want to settle down. I guess I can't revoke your soul for trying. Get out of the door, light out and look all around.
Sometimes the light's all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me, what a long, strange trip it's been. Trucking, I'm going home. Whoa, whoa, baby, back where I belong. Back home, sit down and patch my bones and get back trucking. Home, 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 home.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Addy Bates produces, Curtis Poindexter runs the board, and he is shipping up to Boston, A.J. Brown. From the Philadelphia Eagles to the New England Patriots, Cameron Stewart of the Wicked Boston Show now joins the Drake Toll Show to break this down. Cam, when you woke up yesterday, Boston, Massachusetts, there was no A.J. Brown amongst you. Now there is one more A.J. Brown in your confines. Has the pulse of the city changed at all?
I mean, yeah, there is a little bit of relief as well. I think everybody had June 1st circled on the calendar as the day the A.J. Brown trade could get done. But what we heard in reports the last couple of weeks were, hey, this might not happen right away. This might take a minute. Right. The Eagles might really hold out for a great package here. The Rams are interested. And that's one that we heard last week that kind of got me to shudder a little bit, that the Rams were interested, with
No. Well, the Rams made a different deal, so they're good for now.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So when you looked at it a week ago, they were looking to, Puka Nacua had an uncertain future for this season. They are a team and a franchise that are known to make the big swing, and that's exactly what they did yesterday, just with a different player. Now, it happened to be at another position of need for the Patriots, but clearly the Patriots had circled A.J. Brown, that they weren't really in the market for Myles Garrett. So that was huge as a first domino to kind of fall. And then obviously the A.J. Brown trade comes in. This is exactly what the Patriots need. So yeah, it's a different feeling around the region today.
Cam, the idea that Jared Verse and 3 picks are being shipped across the country from the Cleveland Browns and the Los Angeles Rams in that trade, whereas for New England, yeah, you lose a couple draft picks, but you get a bona fide wide receiver 1. Does the full trade compensation package feel fair on both sides, or does this sway New England's way?
I do think it is a fair trade both ways. I can see the criticism from either side. I know there are some people that cover the Patriots around here that are surprised the Patriots gave up a first-round pick at all, considering A.J. Brown's real dissatisfaction with his time in Philadelphia and where he was and all the drama surrounding that, as well as a bit of a knee problem. They thought there were some people around here that thought you could get away with not sending a first-round pick out there. I didn't think that would ever be the case. And from the Philadelphia side, there are people criticizing Howie Roseman for not getting a first-round pick in next year's draft. But again, I think that's really picking nits. I mean, you're getting one in the draft the next year. To get a first and a fifth, I think is good for both sides. A.J. Brown did not want to play in Philadelphia anymore. It was clearly casting a shadow over that team and over that sideline. So if you're the Eagles, you got to get rid of him somehow, and to still get a first-round pick, I think is good and fair. And you look at the Patriots for what their needs are and their inability to go out and get a big-name playmaker the last several off seasons. This is the price of doing business. And I know there's probably something out there. I think Ben Volen had tweeted it out of Mike Vrabel being very comfortable parting with a first round pick to get A.J. Brown to kind of get Vrabel's own name out of the headlines a little bit. But I think this is a fair deal all the way around.
I have buried the lead a bit. The case that I made earlier in the show is Diana Rossini had nothing to do with the X's and O's of this trade or really hashing out the details, but you'd be silly not to realize that her reporting and the sway of public opinion was something she was getting directly from Mike Vrabel, very likely in the bedroom. That information she had, at the very least, alerted the public to A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots being something that Mike Vrabel and their franchise wanted. And now with the fall apart of Vrabel and Rossini and this affair and the pomp and circumstance around it, what role, if only just public PR perception, something like that, what role did that scandal play in A.J. Brown being a New England Patriot on June 2nd today?
Well, I think not only does it obviously alert the public and certainly fire up Patriots fans for a couple of months that this deal could happen, but I think it sets the market without any details getting out there, trade details, I should say. Plenty of details got out about that whole situation. But I think what it did was kind of set the market without saying, hey, the Eagles are looking for 2 first-round picks here or something like that. What set the market was the Patriots are interested. A.J. Brown wants to play for Mike Vrabel again. And I think that shines through when we hear again last week that the Rams were really close to a trade for A.J. Brown and had already been talking about that with the Eagles earlier in the offseason and into last season. So that's something that the public didn't really know about. So, Sean McVay is, I don't know what he's doing, but it's not with an insider, right? So that is something that might have, gotten some NFL teams to back off and saying, like, you know what, this isn't a realistic situation for us. The Patriots are the only ones here. They're the only ones that want him. They've already talked. There's already probably this deal in place. It's a moot point for us to go and try and negotiate with Howie Roseman for A.J. Brown, and we'd have to give up multiple first-round picks. And what it turns out is there was more of a market for A.J. Brown, shocker, and you wouldn't have to give this pretty penny to overtake what the Patriots did. You could have had you could have given up your first-round pick in 2027 to go and get A.J. Brown. So that's what I think it did. Obviously, I do think there were more teams that kicked the tires and called the Eagles' offices, but that information getting out so early in the offseason, I mean, really almost before the end of the season, it was Super Bowl week that came out, that it kind of set the market for A.J. Brown as, hey, guys, other teams, don't worry about it. He's going to be a Patriot, when realistically there were some other contenders in there for A.J. Brown.
funny to me the reporters who have approached the A.J. Brown trade as with the words surprising or blockbuster or bombshell when Diana Rossini from the confines of Mike Vrabel's hotel room in Sedona, Arizona, had been reporting on this for months, and now it comes to fruition. And now it gives, by the way, Cameron Stewart from the Wicked Boston show joining the Drake Toll show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Now it gives Drake May a certified number one, a wide receiver one, and not a wide receiver one who may or may not be hitting people. Stephon Diggs out, A.J. Brown in. I'm sure every New England fan would take that. And Romeo Doubs to the retool. Is this a Patriots offense that took a big enough jump to compete with names like L.A. or Seattle to win a Super Bowl?
It's a loaded question because they certainly got better offensively. That said, they didn't address their biggest issue offensively, and I think they knew, and pretty much everyone else knew, they weren't going to be able to do that in a big way this offseason. Like, Drake May was left for dead in that Super Bowl. That offensive line was really put together with, duct tape and super glue throughout that whole season, and you saw it throughout the entirety of the playoffs, not just the Super Bowl. So there's still some big questions there, whether they can still protect Drake May. They bring in a guy like Elijah Vera Tucker, who is a tremendous, tremendous offensive lineman when he's healthy. The only thing is he's almost never healthy. And so you have to worry about that. But make no mistake about it, this was one of the best offenses in the league last year. And they have gotten better with their weapons. And, we heard so much of the narrative last year about the schedule, playing a last-place schedule, and it wasn't a very good one. But this year they have one of the toughest schedules in football. It's a brutal start to the season, the first month and a half of it, and they're going to need more firepower. And I think they realized that against what was such a good freaking defense with the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. So they have gotten better on that side of the ball. I just don't know that they've addressed their biggest issue. That said, every young quarterback we've seen now, other than Patrick Mahomes, who's no longer young, but even when he was, needs this true big name X receiver who's going to get open for you on third down. Mahomes had a big playability from Tyreek Hill early in his career. Also Travis Kelce, probably the second best tight end of all time. But for the most part, these other guys need big-name receivers. Josh Allen needed prime Stephon Diggs. Joe Burrow needed two of those guys. He needed, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Matthew Stafford needs a Puka Nacua to raise his level to MVP kind of level. So the Patriots needed that, and that's exactly what they got. They got one of the biggest man defense matchup nightmares in the whole sport. Drake May is going to pick apart zone defenses no matter what. Now he's got a guy to truly help him beat man. He's a deep threat. He can work out of the slot. He's great in the red zone. He's over 1,000 yards each of the last 4 seasons and every year that he played a full season. So, yeah, you just added a 3-time All-Pro. And this is something the Patriots have been circling around for years, Drake. Like, every year we hear how they got the time and the assets and the money now to make the big move and make the big splash. And they offered Chris Godwin, $8 million more last year than the Bucs gave him, and he still said no. You had to probably overpay for Stephon Diggs and got a pretty good year out of him. But they have been circling the waters for a big name like this for years now. And now they finally put their nuts on the table and did it. So that's huge. It is crucial, especially for the year ahead. It's going to be a much tougher road for the Patriots overall this year, and they just improved their weapons for their young quarterback on a rookie contract. So I can't find anything bad about this yet.
Cameron Stewart, the Wicked Boston Show. Congrats on your national TV debut this last weekend, and thanks for joining us so early this morning. You can follow him at Real Cam Stewart. Thanks again, Cam.
Appreciate it, guys. Anytime, man.
Yep, found him on the CW with the Savannah Bananas and Indianapolis Clowns when I was scrolling through the TV on Sundays. That's Cameron Stewart, that bald spot. I don't know that bald spot anywhere. At Real Cam Stewart on Twitter. Addie Bates producing. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. A.J. Brown is a New England Patriot. When we come back, our idiots of the day. Are the Cleveland Browns idiots for what they did? This is the Drake Toll Show.
This
She thinks she missed the train to Mars. She's out back counting stars. She thinks she missed the train to Mars. She's out back counting stars.
Ignore the hole. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. 8 o'clock hour, Eastern Time, June 2nd. Here's what we did not know at this time yesterday. We did not know that A.J. Brown would be a New England Patriot. We did not know that Myles Garrett would be traded to the Los Angeles Rams. We did not know Serena Williams would come out of retirement. We did not know that Russell Wilson would retire. We did not know that Odell Beckham Jr. would be a member of the New York Football Giants. We did not know that Texas Tech softball and Texas softball would be in the Women's College World Series final. We didn't know the rest of the super regional representatives for college baseball. We didn't know a lot of things, all right? I didn't even say the word baseball today in the perspective of Major League Baseball. Just one of those days, man, where I want to go back to, we didn't know Steph would sign a deal with that Chinese company for shoes. Or Milan Momcilovic would go from, which is a huge 5-star transfer going from Iowa State. It was crazy. He stayed in college basketball to go to Kentucky, and a big win for Mark Pope. And Mark Pope needs big wins. He's really struggled at Kentucky. The Aspiration co-founder got 14 years in prison. Yeah. Joseph Sandberg, now bankrupt, Green Banking Company. They're the center of that LA Clippers investigation, remember? With the Kawhi deal and all that jazz. We didn't know any of this yesterday. I couldn't have known. Can I really peel back the curtain for you? And by the way, you can listen to the entirety of the Drake Toll Show on YouTube, live or rerun, and podcast form, wherever you get your podcasts, or on Twitter, or on the Westwood One Sports app, or on Sirius XM 375. And I'll tell you, Tuesdays can be some of the weirdest or worst days in radio, because Monday's the big hitter. Monday is never miss a Monday, because so much stuff's happening in the world of sports you got to cover from the weekend. Tuesday rolls along, like, well, I kind of unloaded the chamber on Monday. Now what? This is the Tuesday. This is the Tuesday of all Tuesdays in sports, as everything in the NFL fell apart yesterday. So we've got to give out our idiots of the day. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. We have got to give out our idiots. It's time for the idiot
of the day.
Boom, baby, let's do it. Idiot of the day, number 1. No one involved in the Myles Garrett trade. What? Well, no, surely the Cleveland Browns are idiots, right? Not really. See, I'm not going to focus on the Browns side of this too much, but it works out okay. The consolation prize of getting Jared Verse is a pretty good consolation prize. You lost the best player in all of football, the best football player in the universe right now, and it's hard to argue that Myles Garrett is the best football player in the universe. But the dog pound got a 25-year-old Jared Verse, and that softens the blow. 2024 Defensive Rookie of the Year, made the Pro Bowl each of his first 2 seasons, and since coming into the league, only Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett have generated more total pressures than Verse's 99. So Cleveland now has a premier, younger cornerstone that fits their new timeline to win in 2 or 3 years. They're not going to win with Todd Monken. If anyone's the idiot of the day, it's Todd Monken. They're going to win, I can assure you, in 3 years with somebody else and Jared Verse leading the way. That's what they want to do. They don't care about winning now. Say hello to the Cleveland Browns. Idiot of the day. Whoever's calling this home run, Oklahoma, walk-off bomb, bottom of the 10th, yesterday to go to the Super Regionals. And this home run call is what? Take a listen on ESPN.
dying on every pitch. Taki in the air to center. Burris going back. That ball is gone. It's gone. Dayton Taki sends Oklahoma to Super Regionals. Heartbreak again for Georgia Tech, and joy for Oklahoma as they stun the number 2 team in the tournament.
That's good enough. Addie, what the hell was that?
By the way, off the bat, you knew that was a home run. You can tell. You could hear it. You could see it. And by the way, he kept going, it's back, as it already hit the padding in center field. It's back? No, it's gone. Buddy, it's gone. It is like he was watching this on some delay. So if you don't see it, you're like, oh, this is fine, whatever, cool, it's a home run call, but you have to look at the video too. It's atrocious. I'm like, dog, that ball is not back, it's gone. What do I know?
What do you know? It's a good question.
Yeah.
Oklahoma advances the Supers. You are an idiot of the day if you did not make the Super Regional and you are the number 1 or number 2 team in the country. That was the case for Georgia Tech as well as UCLA. UCLA lost to St. Mary's twice, and now Cal Poly will go to a Super Regional as they made it out of the Los Angeles Regional that featured UCLA, St. Mary's, Virginia Tech, and Cal Poly. Poly will go on the road to play West Virginia in the Supers. Oklahoma making it out of a regional that had Georgia Tech, UIC, the Citadel, and of course OU. And Georgia Tech lost back-to-back games Sunday and then Monday for OU to make it across. That leaves some very odd matchups in college baseball. The aforementioned West Virginia and Cal Poly. Troy, the Trojans, will host a Super Regional against the University of Arkansas Little Rock. And while there are series like Texas and Oregon, Georgia and Mississippi State, Auburn, Ole Miss, those make sense. Alabama, St. John's? What an odd conglomerate of teams we have involved in this year's college baseball Super Regionals. Idiot of the day, Tennessee, this is combined, Tennessee and Alabama. Yesterday, Tennessee, the number 7 team in the country, against number 2, Texas, had the leg up. Of course they did. They just got to win 1 game. Texas has to win 2. And the Longhorns would knock off Tennessee twice in the same morning to go to the finals, the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. Followed by that, Alabama, the number 1 team in America, versus the number 11 team, Texas Tech. 2 teams with Texas in the name. All Bama had to do was win 1 game against Nyjah Kennedy, and they couldn't do it. Even sending it to overtime. Extra innings with a home run to tie it in the 7th yesterday in game 1 of 2 between Texas Tech and Bama. The Crimson Tide could not finish the job, could not get it done, and now Texas Tech, after winning back-to-back contests, goes to the finals against the University of Texas. Addie, are you big into softball?
Oh my goodness, yes! This is awesome!
Okay.
Did you watch last year's World Series?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Texas is it. Texas is back. Texas never left, actually. And you need to believe in Texas. I know you do not like the SEC, and that's fine. It's your prerogative, but this team is awesome. Their game the other day versus Nebraska, legendary. These girls got it, and I'm excited.
I wouldn't say I don't like the SEC. I mean, I grew up in the SEC. It's kind of my forte.
Right.
For a while. Right. I think that the coverage the SEC receives, and this is objective, like you can't really argue this one, is disproportionate to the rest of the conferences, especially in football, where the SEC is second to the Big Ten. That's my biggest issue. It's like, man, just can we cover it with, I only ever hear the Outlook buzz when your microphone's on.
My computer is not on. And I heard it when you were interviewing Cam, by the way, so that's wrong.
I don't know if I heard it then.
I did. And
maybe I did.
Look,
I've heard it 3 times, I think.
Here. It would pop up on my phone if I had a notification from Outlook.
Right. See, I don't have an email either. That's why I'm still wondering, who's getting emails right now? If you don't open an email, does it buzz you again?
Curtis, is it your computer?
It's asking me this every time, and it's not even.
Here's the deal, and this is why I'm going to break down really quickly why I think it's Drake. Drake, the only reason we've had issues with StreamYard and stuff like that is whenever it's your computer when you're traveling where I have to mute and unmute and toggle. I think your computer, something in your room, the volume is on, and you don't realize it. One of your monitors, one of your computers, something is on.
Yeah. I have one. It's the same setup on the road as it is at home.
Yeah, on the road. It's also the same thing. It messes up on the road too.
So what does the road have to do with any of this?
You mentioned the road.
I did not. You did. We can replay it.
Drake, it's your computer. It's your computer. It is your computer making that noise. Because Curtis's mic is not on. I can tell when his mic is on because his face turns red because he gets all nervous and excited. No, it's just the light. So it's not from Curtis's room. And his computer in there does not just feed into ours and just play in random stuff the entire time. It's your computer.
No, man, I got an email at 2:36 a.m. is my last email. Nothing after that.
For all of your email accounts?
Yeah, for all my Outlook.
What about
I only
Gmail?
have 2 that are connected to Outlook. Gmail doesn't make a bring noise.
What's your last email you got?
That is the Outlook
just answer
ring.
that. What's the last time you got an email from Gmail?
11:07 p.m.
For
now
all
what?
your Gmails?
I'm beating Yes, 8:13 p.m. I'm beating the allegations. Touch yourself.
Whose allegations?
Your allegations. What do you mean? Are you
I didn't know who
listening
you were
to the
beating.
show?
I didn't know who you were beating. You said you're beating someone. Sorry, I didn't know who you were beating.
I said I'm beating the allegations because you're alleging that my computer is ringing and it's not.
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person.
Such a this is easy rage bait. It's so easy to rage.
Ignore the hole. I didn't know this would frustrate me so much, but it did.
Fine, Curtis, when was your last notification? Let's just break it down right now. Curtis, look at the emails on your computer and then get back to us.
Has Curtis talked once today?
3:28.
I think we've gone.
Yeah, from Addie.
So it is Drake.
No, 3:28 a.m. is this show. This show is on at 3:28 a.m. his time.
Drake, that is not in this hour. You've heard it twice
That would
in
have
this
been in the
hour.
first segment of the show.
Yes, it's
okay,
whenever
but if
I
no
sent him
one has emails, if no one has got an email, Addie, check your emails.
Okay, I'm checking them. My last email was me emailing myself at 6:27. Yeah.
Yeah. Is your phone on?
Drake, why would my phone be on?
What? We're asking really silly questions. Of course your phone's on.
Yeah, but
what do you mean, why would your phone be on? Your phone's always on.
Yes, but why would I have the ringer on? You think this is my first time working radio?
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
2:36 a.m. is my last email. Idiot of the day, Adrian Beltre. Because he thinks that Wander Franco should be. You know, can we please do the Joe Royer thing at some point? I know it's in there, and the entire NFL split apart. But him possibly dating the underage daughter of one of his assistant coaches while he was in his 20s and still dating her is a serious problem. Like Dove Kleiman, it's really weird to source, but Joe Royer is 24 years old. Riley Hope is 18 years old. 6-year age gap. 24-year-old tight end Joe Royer has gone viral for dating an 18-year-old girl who just he was at her high school graduation.
Oh, is that good?
It's his position coach's daughter. Almost guaranteed he knew her before she was 18.
Anyway.
That's not good.
You're telling me
You
this
shouldn't
for
do
the first
that.
time. You're telling me this for the first time.
Also, who the hell is Joe Royer, man? I'm not even going to hide it. Like, I'm not even going to be like, oh, yeah, I loved it. He was a great Browns prospect. Who is Joe Royer? And why is he dating a girl who's possibly underage? Allegedly. Somebody help me with this one, because that's fishy.
Adrian Beltre would say that he deserves a second chance, okay?
Adrian Beltre did say Wander Franco deserves a second chance. Wander Franco did allegedly have relations with a 14-year-old and didn't he flee the country too right after?
Yes. Because when you are innocent, when you're
went back.
well, no, he had to get sent, like he got extradited
Right.
back into the country.
He went-
When you're innocent, that's
Yep,
what happens.
Yep. I think he went back to his home country. I think he did it in his home country, right?
Yeah.
And then decided to stay there and just not come back to the U.S. where they could get really mad. Oh, but he had to have done it here. Otherwise, we can't really punish him for that. We can't punish him for doing that in a different country.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean like he doesn't have to play baseball. Like no club can. Like it's like the Trevor Bauer thing. Just because like it doesn't mean you're gonna play.
God, please, no one ask Adrian Beltre about Trevor Bauer, please. I do not need to know. I do not need to know what his thoughts are on that. When we come back, let's go to the NBA Finals. Tim Reynolds, @Tim Reynolds, NBA writer for the AP, joins the Drake Toll Show because we have the NBA Finals still. No matter how crazy the NFL gets, we still have the NBA Finals. It is Addy Bates producing. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. This is the Drake Toll Show.
rhythm to the brain. La-da-da-da-dee.
It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single day across the country and on Sirius XM 375 as well as that Westwood One Sports app. Tim Reynolds now joins the Drake Toll Show at by Tim Reynolds on Twitter, NBA writer for the AP. Tim, thanks so much for being up early with us this morning and joining the show. One of the questions that's been prevalent at kind of top of mind in the discussion of the Spurs and Knicks at an 8th consecutive different NBA champion is that word parity. Is parity good for the NBA in the modern era?
Oh, I think so. By the way, first off, thanks for having me. I think, I go back to the Cleveland Golden State years, 15, 16, 17, 18. And the complaint was, it's so boring. Oh, it's so boring. The regular season doesn't matter. The playoffs don't matter. We know it's going to be the Cavs. We know it's going to be the Warriors. Well, that problem kind of went away. So I think people want, you want to see your team win. So if you're a Thunder fan, you're not real happy right now. If you're a Spurs or a Knicks fan, you're particularly excited. If you don't like, teams that have won it recently for some reason, if you're like, I can't stand when the Nuggets win, I can't stand when the Thunder win, you're pretty happy right now. I think parity is great in that you can make the argument, obviously, every single team or most teams have at least some chance. I mean, I think some people probably had the Knicks being finals worthy when the year started. I think very few people would have said that the Spurs were ready for this stage. Right. So parity is great because it keeps it interesting.
Tim, as a piece of that, I think when I look at a college football or an NFL, an NBA, some of these major sports people latch on to, they love greatness. I love greatness, right? You talk 90s basketball, you're talking MJ and the Bulls dynasty. You're talking 2010s, you're talking Steph Curry. You're talking 2000s, it's Kobe or LeBron. In the 2020s, what is our version of that? Is the lack of the consistent dynasty or star power of this one player, that one team, is that a benefit to the NBA?
Again, I think it is. And only because Michael was different. And I'm sure you and I were not around for 8 straight Celtics titles. I'm sure that was obviously a very different time. There's a lot. You can find a lot of good in whatever. You can find a lot of bad in whatever. I do think the fact that there's an element of unpredictability, that no matter what happens in this series, people are going to go into next year saying, really anything can happen. Who's going to be the next mystery team? The fact that it's not just going to be 8 different franchises winning titles in the last 8 years. It's 7 different franchises having won the West title. And it's crazy. We talk about how the West is an absolute war. Well, it is. And we saw, the other night how tough it is, even for an elite team like the Thunder, to survive 3 rounds of the Western Conference Gauntlet. And, if anyone thinks that it's going to be automatic for the Spurs next year to get out of the West, they're obviously fooling themselves. You need a lot to go right. You need to make a ton of shots. If Oklahoma City was healthy, with Jalen Williams could go in that series. Would it have been a different story? It very well could have been. So, unpredictability, I think fans like it. But I do think there is certainly, we're all waiting for that next Bulls run. We're waiting for that next Jordan. The Heat could have given it to us. When they had LeBron and Chris Bosh there with Dwayne for 4 years, they got to the finals 4 times. They only got 2 titles out of it. So that's about as close as we've been probably since Golden State. Would have been a run like that if not for LeBron and the Cavs winning in 16. Do we yearn for another run of year after year after year, some team rising to the top? Sure, but I don't think this is a bad thing that we're not seeing it either.
Yeah. Tim Reynolds joining the Drake Toll Show at by Tim Reynolds on Twitter. Thanks for fielding the same question in 2 different ways. It's just been so pressing.
Yeah, it is the talk though of. I mean, going into the series, parody is a thing. Spoiler alert: I'm probably going to write about parody tomorrow night when Adam Silver talks to us before Game 1. So it is very much a storyline right now.
Of course. Tim, let's talk about the actual two teams that are in the NBA Finals. The rematch of 1999, Spurs and Knicks. It has that vintage feel to it. And I've made the case on the show that, if tomorrow the Warriors and Cavs met for the NBA Finals, it wouldn't have that same oh wow, but there's something so authentic and that ebb and flow in and out of 90s into 2000s NBA basketball about Spurs and Knicks. And it brings back some of that sentiment for NBA fans, especially the Knicks being good and back on this stage, and Jalen Brunson leading the way. Even if the Knicks don't win the NBA title, what is that name, Jalen Brunson? What does it mean to New York basketball as it sits?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, first off, that number will hang from the rafters one day there, and really, he's had this unbelievable run. I don't think people give him enough credit for leaving a ton of money on the table to help the Knicks do these things. It's unprecedented, and the amount of money that he left, over $100 million. It's Jalen Brunson. My favorite Jalen Brunson story isn't the stuff he's done with the Knicks. It isn't the stuff. It isn't the money that he left behind. Jalen Brunson 3 years ago played on USA Basketball's World Cup team. And when they invited him to play, Jalen Brunson was getting married that summer. So what does he and his then fiancée do? Moved the wedding to accommodate him playing USA Basketball. The guy just loves to play the game. He's one of my favorite guys in the league. He should be one of everybody's favorite. If you're a Spurs fan, Jalen Brunson should be one of your favorite guys in the league because he plays it the right way. And yes, he's got that. He's not. Most of us aren't dunkers, surprisingly. Most of us aren't 6'8". He's a 6'2" guy who just finds a way to get to the rim and makes crazy shots and he just does everything right. He's an excellent steward for the game right now, and you need guys like that. Wemby, of course, obviously does it in a very different way. He's excellent for the game too. So there's a lot to like.
I love that we have two stars, Tim, in this NBA Finals that are just on different that we won't see those two go head-to-head very often. It reminds me vaguely of the LeBron Curry, where both of those guys get to be in their own sect of the game itself, and seldom do you see them matched up on one another. That'll be the case for Brunson and Wemby. They both get to use a new school word, cook in their own way this NBA Finals, and I think a part of that lends itself toward neither of those guys being a villain. And New York hasn't won at this rate in so long. They've become almost a feel-good story. Odd for a New York market team to be a feel-good story. That's kind of the case for the Knicks and for the Spurs with Greg Popovich's involvement, Victor Wembanyama, his rhetoric being so wholesome. Is it weird we have an NBA Finals without a clear or true villain? There doesn't seem to be as much conflict as you typically get out of such a high-stakes matchup.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's an excellent point you make. And the funny part to me is that when you talk about anything that's remotely close to a villain in this series, it's basically Knicks fans outside the Garden and what they're going to do to that city if the Knicks win 4 games. So it is nice to see, and the edge will come. No matter what happens, somebody will be down 1-0 after Game 1. In a stunning development. That will be the score of the series after Wednesday night. There will be an edge will develop at some point because something will happen. Somebody will take a hard foul. Somebody will catch an elbow. Somebody will go 4 for 20. Something will happen. So we will get the drama. But it is unusual that it is two feel-good stories colliding. And you're doubly right in that it's very unusual that a feel-good story is out of New York where, let's face it, you either love the team or you hate it. There is no in-between usually with New York teams, no matter what the sport is, whether it's the Yankees, the Mets, whatever it is. There is no ambiguity as a fan. You're either for it or you're not for it. I do think these Knicks, though, have a certain air of, I mean, they've got fans. There's going to be people in Philly rooting for the Knicks because of all the three Villanova guys. They swept Philly. Philly hates New York. New York hates Philly, except these guys, these Villanova guys, they crossed some barriers. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of those little mini stories that make the Knicks very, very likable. And obviously the Spurs, by association with Wemby alone, they're likable on a global scale. It will change. The story will change at some point, but right now everybody's all happy.
Tim Reynolds covering the NBA for the Associated Press, joining the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Tim, I won't ask you for a winner, but how do you foresee this series playing out? How many games? How deep do we go?
It's, I think, minimum 6. I don't think it'll be a short series. We saw that the Spurs have a little difficulty reloading with only one day off between games. We saw that in the West Finals. We saw that Victor has a little trouble reloading. The lights are only going to get brighter in this series. And I do think, I think the Knicks will have, they're acutely aware of the fact that for whatever reason, Vic would go, especially toward the latter half of the West Finals, he'd be really good, then he'd be okay, then really good, then okay, never bad. But you could tell that it was just tough for him to have 2 extremely high-energy games in a row. That's one of many reasons why I think the teams, they don't match up well at all. They're I think in a lot of ways they're matchup nightmares for each other. I think it's going to be tough for anybody to win 3 games in a row in this series. So I think it goes deep. I really do. And, as much as the Garden is a factor, and it will be a factor, what's coming in the Garden next week is going to be, must-see TV for a number of reasons. This arena here, Frostbank here in San Antonio, Victor has made this place very electric. He started a thing last summer with, he wanted to have it feel a little bit more European, where they chant all game long. So he brings in about 1,000 people to be the Jackals. And it's got a very different feel now, too. And the Spurs defend their home court very well. The Garden will be electric in a different way. This is going to be a back and forth. I think it's going to be, I'm rooting for back and forth, but I think it's pretty easy to see that logically, that's what you should expect, is that this thing's going to go deep.
Tim, last thing I got for you, and few names could divert the NBA conversation from the NBA Finals in a week like this, but the passing of the Hall of Famer Rick Adelman and what he meant to Kings fans or Blazers fans or the NBA as a whole. What did we lose in the passing of the Hall of Famer?
Well, we lost a gentleman, and thank you for asking about it, by the way. We lost a gentleman. We lost a guy who was just universally beloved within the league. I was actually away from my computer for about half an hour yesterday afternoon and came back and saw the news, and then ended up having to write the obituary. And it was you talked to some people over the course of the day, and it was emotional. But you could also see, when they gave him the Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award, the National Basketball Coaches Association gave him that at the finals 3 years ago. And you could just see what he meant to Rick Carlisle, who was the president of the Coaches Association at that time. Yeah. And Rick getting emotional talking about Rick Adelman, even 3 years ago, when Rick was ailing, but was still getting around okay and all that. We knew he was ailing. We knew he was not the Rick of old. My favorite moment, though, from that night was Kyle Lowry and Kevin Love. Both were on the Heat at the time, but both had played for Rick. It's, before a finals game, and they made sure to go seek him out and tell him how much they appreciated him, and they had a nice chat with him. I spoke with Kyle Lowry last night, and Kyle was very emotional and said, without Rick, I don't play 20 years. Without Rick, I don't know if I played very many years at all, because he just was he was the epitome of a player's coach. He didn't micromanage. He didn't worry about what guys were doing at night. What did you eat the night before? Just show up and do the work, and you and I are going to be fine. And he was an innovator. He had all those bigs that he ran offense through in Sacramento. Well, look what we're going to see in this NBA Finals. Offense getting run through Karl Anthony Towns and Victor Wembanyama. So Rick Adams' fingerprint is still very much on the game today, and the news yesterday was very, very sad.
Tim, incredibly grateful again for you up early with us on the Drake Toll Show this morning. A class act, and loved everything you gave us for these 15 minutes. Would love to do it again as soon as we can. This has been fantastic.
Thanks, Drake. Appreciate you.
Again, by Tim Reynolds on Twitter, writing for the NBA and the Associated Press. He'll be on hand this week at the NBA Finals and covering those games very closely. You can find him by Tim Reynolds on socials and with the Associated Press. When we come back, the NFL burned down yesterday. Myles Garrett to Russell Wilson. I mean, the Russell Wilson story would be number one if not for the A.J. Brown trade. The A.J. Brown trade would be number one if not for the Myles Garrett trade. And the Myles Garrett trade is surely number one. And there are a whole host. Odell Beckham Jr. back to the Giants would have been number one, but it's fourth in the totem pole of things to get to across the National Football League. We will hear from the general manager of the Cleveland Browns as well as their head coach, Todd Monken, when we come back on the trade. Myles Garrett is a member of the Los Angeles Rams. This is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
I will try like a ganja. Kodwa sinsukwini sanamhlanje. Sibona kwenzeka kanjani. Amantombazane.
She's a rich girl, she don't try to hide it. Diamonds on the soles of her shoes. He's a poor boy, empty as a pocket. Empty as a pocket with nothing to lose. Sing ta-na-na, ta-na-na-na. She got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. Ta-na-na, ta-na-na-na. She got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. 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 Say she's crazy, she got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. Well, that's one way to lose these walking blues. Diamonds on the soles of your shoes. She was physically forgotten, but then she slipped into my pocket with my car keys. She said, you've taken me for granted because I please you. Wearing these diamonds. And I could say, ooh, as if everybody knows what I'm talking about. As if everybody here would know exactly what I was talking about. I'm talking about diamonds on the soles of her shoes. She makes the sign of a teaspoon, he makes the sign of a wave. The poor boy changes clothes and he puts on aftershave to compensate for his ordinary shoes. And she said, honey, take me dancing, but they ended up by sleeping in a doorway by the bodegas and the lights on over Broadway, wearing diamonds on the soles of their shoes. And I could say, ooh, everybody here would know what I was talking about. I mean, everybody here would know exactly what I was talking about. I'm talking about time. People say I'm crazy, I got diamonds on the soles of my shoes, yeah. Well, that's one way to lose these walking blues. Diamonds on the soles of my shoes. Ta-na-na-na, 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 ta-na-na-na.
I got a sweet little body as you're rolling in the caddy with me.
Yeah.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you. Thanks again to Tim Reynolds for joining the show. Cameron Stewart earlier in the program to talk A.J. Brown. And now let's jump into it. Myles Garrett is a member of the Los Angeles Rams. That was not a fact 24 hours ago when you and I met for the first time this week. You're listening from Butte, Montana, and thought, no way Myles Garrett is ever a member of the Los Angeles Rams. And he is. Let's take you to Cleveland. Yesterday, pretty funny actually, they're having a charity event. Of course they are. And in the middle of that charity event, Todd Monken, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, the guy who most Ravens fans wanted fired in Baltimore. Like, Baltimore fired their head coach, John Harbaugh. And part of the reason he got fired is because he wouldn't fire Todd Monken. He was too loyal to Todd Monken, who many consider to be the problem, the issue. He couldn't unlock or activate Lamar Jackson. So what did the Browns do? They said, you guys had to fire the other guy because he wouldn't fire the really bad guy. We'll hire the really bad guy as our head coach. The most Cleveland Browns thing that you could possibly do. Todd Monken is the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. He's at this Browns Foundation event yesterday when the news starts to break that Myles Garrett, who he's never met, by the way, never met, Monken gets hired. Garrett wanted Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, to be the new head coach of the Browns. The Browns ownership said, no. And Garrett said, fine, whoever you hire, I'm not even talking to him. Not showing up to OTAs. I won't even be there. I don't care. I'm done. So Todd Monken met with the media yesterday, and I guess he had to save face and be like, no one ever told me that Myles Garrett would play here. Well, what a weird response from Monken. Here you go.
Well, he's not like any other player. I mean, I'm never told who's going to be on the team, who's not going to be on the team, if that's a question. I mean, every day we evaluate the roster. Andrew evaluates the roster. Management evaluates the roster. And like I said, he's no different than any other player we've got. So I don't know how to respond to that based on, because it's really no different today than it's been for the last however many months I've been the head coach.
Have you been assured he'll be here June 9th?
No, I wasn't assured that when I took the job. I was never assured of anything when I took the job, other than once I signed my contract and whatever my contract said, that's what I was assured. And no matter what any of us coaches sign up for, is we show up every day and we coach the guys that are in the building like we've done since we've been here. That hasn't changed.
I love the no matter what, us coaches sign up for everything that comes with being a coach. Yeah, when you sign up to coach the Cleveland Browns, you sign up for a little bit more than that, champ. You sign up for some crazy stuff when you want to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. This is the last. And Monken's getting up there. Hold on. Give me pardon as I Google Todd Monken's age. 60 years old. This is the last time Todd Monken will have a high-profile job in the NFL. Maybe he'll make his way back as a coordinator someday. But this is it. The same Todd Monken who was at Georgia as the offensive coordinator, then went to the Ravens as the OC, now as the head coach of the Browns. That guy, that Todd Monken, former head coach at Southern Miss, is in a position with the Browns to be fired. He's asking to be fired. He can't wait to be fired in a couple of years. Say, like, I don't know, this is just part of coaching. I'm just going to make my millions of dollars and I'm going to get fired in 2 years. See you guys. Good to see you. Happy. Enjoy the charity event. At the same event was the Browns GM, Andrew Berry, who gave a very corporate, I know, we're all here to celebrate the kids and to make wishes come true, but I guess you're all going to ask me a question about Myles Garrett, aren't you? Just the most. I mean, yeah. What did you think we were going to ask about? Hey, Andrew Berry, love what you're doing for the kids with cancer. Really feel like they're getting healed from their cancer. Can we ask you a quick question? Maybe, we're going to keep the focus on the kids with cancer, but maybe just a quick one about, no! This is the best football player in the universe. You just traded away to L.A. and made them the Super Bowl favorite by leaps and bounds above everybody else, according to Las Vegas. You're going to be asked about this. Don't fool around with me in your response. Don't tease me, Andrew Berry. That's exactly what he did. Berry, take it away.
Obviously, we wanted today really to be about the Browns Foundation and everything that we're doing, the good work that we're doing there. Not naive that there's a lot in the social media sphere regarding Myles. Nothing is final at this point. We are in discussions of a potential transaction, including him. I'll have a lot more to say about it once it is final, if it does become final. And I'll discuss the details at that point. But we are in negotiations. We're hopeful that we close something here in the next several hours. But nothing's final right yet. So, like I said, I'll have an update for you guys maybe as soon as tomorrow when there's resolution. All right, Andrew.
Well, it is final now. And Myles Garrett said to the city of Cleveland, "Loving you is easy. Leaving you is the hard part." Sounds like a Taylor Swift song. Thank you for the 9 unforgettable years. Myles Garrett out. On brand for the Rams. This is when they traded for, when they acquired Matthew Stafford in 2021, that offseason. They wanted to go win the Super Bowl and win it at home. That was the F them picks. This is how Les Snead, the GM of the Rams, operates. I don't need draft picks. I need Myles Garrett. So I'll send Jared Verse, who's good, young, but good. I'll send him to Cleveland. I'll send you 3 picks. I don't care. You give me the best player on planet Earth. And Cleveland did. Now Myles Garrett can compete for a Super Bowl and finally win games. You know how much it probably sucked? You know how much it sucked for 9 years just lose, fired coach. Kevin Stefanski, playoffs. Fired coach, lose. Brutal for Garrett, who can finally compete in the National Football League. Congrats. Blockbusters across the board in the NFL. A.J. Brown to Myles Garrett. What a story. Russell Wilson, who threw for 46,000 yards. I didn't know that number. That's a lot of passing yards in his career. 14-year career, very likely over. He didn't officially say retired. He's just going to be an analyst at CBS. But please, Russ, please be done. It's okay. Give up. It's all right. You can go into the light. You can tell him that you're done.
Mr. Limited.
Mr. Unlimited. Serena Williams. That's the first time Curtis has talked all day. Serena Williams is coming. Maybe he talked during the email conversation.
Yeah.
Serena Williams is coming back out of retirement. There he is. Back out of retirement. Texas Tech and Texas will meet in the College Softball World Series after both of those teams won 2 games in a single day yesterday to make it. And the NCAA Super Regionals are set as well. The NBA Finals, Spurs and Knicks kicks off tomorrow. Tips off tomorrow, whatever, if you want me to be technical about it. And the puck drops at 8 o'clock Eastern time tonight for the Hurricanes against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. They'll be in Raleigh. Our own Josh Graham of Westwood One Sports and Westwood One Sports game night will be on. He'll be there, right? Addie, please.
Yes. Did you say Westwood One Sports game night?
Yes, I did. Did I?
That's not the name of the show.
Wow, my old station was game night. I guess I'm just right back into ESPN Central Texas.
You think they're like a game
Waco,
night
Texas?
show? It's a game show. We got a good one for you tonight. We got Linnell Willingham, Josh Graham.
Good answer.
Day.
Good answer.
Oliver.
The fireworks, man. Westwood One Sports Night. I knew what it was.
Interesting.
Good game night where it was.
Play the game.
Q Myers, man.
Play the
It was
game.
Awesome. Time for Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive. Are they dead today? Curtis, Dana Carvey, dead or alive?
Alive.
Dang it, I was hoping you wouldn't
Addie.
know who he is. He's alive.
He is alive. 71 years old. Happy birthday, Dana Carvey. All right, Pete Conrad, U.S. astronaut, flew on the Gemini 5 and Gemini 11, even Apollo 12. Addie, dead or alive? Pete Conrad.
Dead.
Ooh, Curtis.
Alive.
Yeah, space will kill you. He died in 1999 at the age of 69. Would have been his birthday today. Would have been his 97th birthday today. Charles P. Conrad is dead. Myles Garrett's career with the Cleveland Browns. Addie, dead or alive?
Dead.
Yeah, Curtis.
Also dead.
Good answer. Point for both of you. Stacy Keach, actor from Fat City, Prison Break. Spent 9 months in jail in the UK for smuggling cocaine to the country in 1984. She was born in Savannah, Georgia. Dead or alive, Stacy Keach. Curtis?
We'll go alive.
I was also going to say alive.
Addie? Alive! 85 years old. Happy birthday, Stace. Good to see ya. Nice. Who's listening today? Dead or alive, Tex Schramm, LA Rams administrator. Dallas Cowboys GM. Tex Schramm. Addie, dead or alive?
Dead.
Yeah,
Curtis?
dead.
And Tex Schramm is dead. Finally, dead or alive, Wayne Brady. Addie?
Alive.
Curtis?
Very alive.
Addie wins today. Dead or alive. Happy birthday, Wayne Brady. He turns 54 years old today. Not bad. Looks pretty good for it. Colin Jones, Ryan McGuire, Bruce Gilbert, and Armin Williams, thank you for a job. You Better You Bet's coming up. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This has been It Always Will. See you tomorrow, The Drake Toll Show.
Yeah.
This is Westwood One Sports.